The Elisa Lam case is one of the most disturbing real mysteries in modern history. What happened to this young Canadian woman at the Hotel Cecil in Los Angeles defies all logical explanation. The Elisa Lam elevator video, recorded in the last hours of her life, went viral worldwide and continues to haunt millions of people to this day. In TSBDO, I will analyze in detail all aspects of the Elisa Lam case, from her arrival at the infamous Hotel Cecil to the discovery of her body in a water tank on the roof. I will examine the elevator video frame by frame. I will explore the theories that have emerged over the years, and I will reveal the details that the police and the hotel tried to hide. If you are interested in unexplained real cases, in mysteries that defy reason, this is the most complete video you will find about the death of Elisa Lam. Stay until the end, because the most disturbing details of the Elisa Lam case emerge when you least expect them. Elisa Lam was 21 years old when she disappeared. She was a Canadian student at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. She studied and was known for being intelligent, curious, and a dreamer. Elisa Lam maintained a personal blog where she shared her most intimate thoughts, her reflections on life, and her dreams for the future. She was open about her struggles with mental health. She had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression, conditions she managed with medication and medical monitoring. But Elisa Lam also wrote about hope, about the books she loved, about the places she wanted to visit, about the person she wanted to become. In January 2013, Elisa Lam embarked on a trip along the west coast of the United States. It was a solo adventure, an opportunity to explore new cities and discover herself. She visited San Diego first, then she headed to Los Angeles. And when she arrived in the City of Angels, Elisa Lam made a choice that would change everything. She chose to stay at the Hotel Cecil. The Hotel Cecil is not just any hotel. This building, constructed in 1924, carries a history so dark that many consider it one of the most haunted places in America. The mystery of the Hotel Cecil began decades before Elisa Lam ever set foot in that lobby. Originally conceived as a luxury establishment during the golden era of Los Angeles, the Cecil was devastated by the Great Depression just a few years after its opening. The wealthy guests disappeared, and in their place came the desperate, the marginalized, the disturbed. The Hotel Cecil quickly gained a sinister reputation. Dozens of deaths occurred within those walls over the decades. The building became known as a place where tragedy seemed inevitable. This is the documented history of the Hotel Cecil, and it is important to understand it to grasp the context in which the Elisa Lam case unfolded. In the 1980s, the Hotel Cecil housed Richard Ramirez, the infamous night stalker who terrorized Los Angeles with a series of violent crimes. Ramirez lived at the Cecil during the period of his acts, returning to the hotel night after night. Later, in the 1990s, Jack Unterweger, an Austrian criminal, stayed at the same hotel while visiting Los Angeles as a journalist. The Hotel Cecil seemed to attract darkness, and it was precisely to this place that fate brought Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam checked into the Hotel Cecil on January 26, 2013. This date marks the official beginning of what would become one of the most discussed real cases of the Internet era. Initially, Elisa Lam was placed in a shared room in the hostel section of the hotel, a more economical option where guests shared rooms with strangers. But there were problems. Her roommates filed complaints about Elisa Lam's behavior. The exact details of those complaints were never fully revealed to the public by the authorities. However, they were significant enough for the Hotel Cecil management to decide to transfer Elisa Lam to a private room. This is the first unexplained element in the Elisa Lam case. What behaviors were those that bothered the other guests? Was Elisa Lam experiencing symptoms related to her mental health condition? Was she disturbed by something she had seen or experienced at the hotel? These questions remain unanswered to this day. During the days following her arrival at the Hotel Cecil, Elisa Lam was seen at various locations in Los Angeles. She visited bookstores. She bought gifts for her family in Canada. She communicated regularly with her parents by phone and messages. Everything seemed relatively normal in Elisa Lam's life during those days. She was enjoying her trip. She was exploring the city. She was living. But on January 31st, 2013, Elisa Lam disappeared without a trace. Elisa Lam's parents were the first to realize that something was terribly wrong. Elisa Lam had the habit of contacting her family daily. When days passed, without any communication, Elisa Lam's parents immediately panicked. They contacted the Los Angeles police. They flew from Canada to the United States. They initiated a desperate search for their daughter. The Los Angeles police began investigating Elisa Lam's disappearance. They searched her room at the Hotel Cecil. They interrogated staff and guests. They used sniffer dogs to search for any trace. But Elisa Lam had simply vanished. Disappeared. How could a young woman disappear from a hotel in the center of one of the largest cities in the world without leaving any clue? This is the central enigma of the Elisa Lam case. The police were perplexed. The parents were devastated, and the mystery of the Hotel Cecil was just beginning to reveal itself. On February 14th, 2013, 2 weeks after Elisa Lam's disappearance, the Los Angeles police made a decision that would transform this case into a global phenomenon. They decided to release to the public a surveillance video from the Hotel Cecil. It was the last known footage of Elisa Lam alive. The Elisa Lam elevator video was published online and within hours went viral. Millions of people around the world saw those disturbing images, and when they saw them, they were horrified. The Elisa Lam elevator video is approximately 4 minutes long. It was captured by a security camera installed inside one of the Hotel Cecil elevators. The image quality is grainy, typical of old and cheap surveillance systems. There is no sound, only silence, as we watch what unfolds. The elevator video begins with Elisa Lam entering the Hotel Cecil elevator. She is dressed in a red coat over a gray sweater. She wears shorts and sandals, despite it being January and cold in Los Angeles. This detail about Elisa Lam's clothing is frequently analyzed by investigators of the case. Why was she dressed so lightly for the time of year? In the elevator video, Elisa Lam approaches the button panel and presses several of them. Not just one button. Several. As if she were undecided about where to go, or as if she were trying to make something happen quickly. Then, Elisa Lam retreats to the corner of the elevator and waits. But the elevator doors do not close. This is one of the most analyzed parts of the Elisa Lam elevator video. She presses buttons. Waits. The doors remain open. She presses more buttons. Waits again. The doors stubbornly remain open. There is something profoundly wrong with this Hotel Cecil elevator. Or there is something profoundly wrong with the situation Elisa Lam is experiencing. In the video, Elisa Lam begins to appear visibly agitated. She approaches the elevator opening and peers into the Hotel Cecil hallway. The way Elisa Lam peers is extremely cautious. Hesitant, as if she were checking if someone is waiting for her out there. As if she were hiding from something. Or someone. Elisa Lam leans out of the elevator, looking first to one side of the hallway, then to the other. Her movements are nervous. Quick! Then, Elisa Lam retreats back inside the elevator and presses herself against the side wall, as if she wanted to become invisible to whoever might be in the Hotel Cecil hallway. What follows in the Elisa Lam elevator video is even more difficult to explain. Elisa Lam exits the elevator. She walks into the hallway. But the way she walks is unusual. Her steps are exaggerated, almost theatrical. Elisa Lam seems to be walking in a deliberately strange way, as if she were acting something out, or as if she were trying to communicate a message. She moves to the side of the elevator, leaving the range of the security camera. Elisa Lam disappears from the image for a few seconds. Then, she reappears in the elevator video. And it is at this moment that the Elisa Lam case becomes truly disturbing for all who analyze it. Elisa Lam is standing in front of the Hotel Cecil elevator. Her hands begin to move in strange ways in the air. She gestures at something invisible. Her fingers contort and flex in ways that seem to have no logical sense. In the elevator video, Elisa Lam appears to be talking to someone who is not there. She appears to be having a conversation with something only she can see. Or she appears to be making signals, transmitting a coded message. Elisa Lam's hand movements in the elevator video are fluid but erratic. Some people who analyzed the Elisa Lam case saw in these gestures fragments of sign language. Others saw random movements possibly caused by a mental health episode. Still others saw something they cannot rationally explain. The Elisa Lam elevator video has been analyzed thousands of times by amateur and professional investigators around the world. Each frame has been examined. Each movement of Elisa Lam has been dissected and debated. And yet, after all these years, no one can definitively explain what Elisa Lam was doing in that Hotel Cecil elevator. After the mysterious gestures, Elisa Lam exits the camera's range again. She disappears into the Hotel Cecil hallway. For long seconds, the elevator remains empty in the video. The doors remain open. It is as if the elevator were waiting for Elisa Lam, inviting her to return. And then, finally, the elevator doors begin to close. But not completely. They open again, close a little, open again. The Hotel Cecil elevator seems to be experiencing some kind of technical malfunction, or seems to be controlled by some external force. Eventually, the doors close completely. The elevator moves, and Elisa Lam was never seen alive again. The Elisa Lam elevator video ends like this, without resolution, without explanation, leaving millions of people around the world wondering what really happened that night at the Hotel Cecil. 2 more weeks passed. After the release of the Elisa Lam elevator video, the Los Angeles police continued their investigation. Elisa Lam's parents remained in the city, refusing to give up on finding their daughter. Volunteers scoured the streets, looking for any clue about Elisa Lam's whereabouts, but she remained missing. And then, on February 19th, 2013, almost 3 weeks after her disappearance, something strange began to happen at the Hotel Cecil. Guests began to file complaints about the water. They said the water coming out of the faucets in their rooms had a strange taste, a metallic taste, an unpleasant smell. Some Hotel Cecil guests described the water as having a dark color, brownish, almost black at times. Santiago Lopez, a maintenance worker at the Hotel Cecil, was sent to the roof to investigate the source of the problem. The Hotel Cecil had 4 large water tanks installed on its roof. These tanks supplied water to the entire building. If there was a problem with water quality, the most likely source would be one of these tanks. Santiago Lopez climbed to the roof of the Hotel Cecil. He approached the first tank. He climbed the ladder that gave access to the upper opening, and when he opened the lid and looked inside the water tank, he found Elisa Lam's body floating in the darkness. The Elisa Lam case had reached its most horrible conclusion. Elisa Lam's body was found inside a water tank on the roof of the Hotel Cecil, the same hotel where she had disappeared weeks earlier. The discovery shocked Los Angeles and the entire world. How had Elisa Lam gotten into that tank? The Hotel Cecil water tanks were not easily accessible to the public. They were located on a roof that was supposedly restricted. To get there, it would be necessary to pass through an emergency door equipped with an alarm system. It would be necessary to climb a fire escape ladder. It would be necessary to cross the roof to the tanks, and then it would be necessary to climb a ladder of approximately 3 meters to the top of the tank. Finally, it would be necessary to remove a heavy lid that covered the opening. Each of these steps represented a significant obstacle in the Elisa Lam case. The emergency door should have triggered an alarm when opened, but no alarm was reported on the night Elisa Lam disappeared from the Hotel Cecil. Ladder to the top of the tank was vertical and without a safety railing, and the lid was heavy and difficult to manipulate. How did Elisa Lam manage to overcome all these obstacles alone? And the most disturbing question in the Elisa Lam case remains without adequate answer to this day. Why? Why would she want to enter a water tank on the roof of a hotel? The autopsy of Elisa Lam was performed by the medical examiner of Los Angeles County. The official results took several months to be publicly released, and when they finally came to light, they created more controversy than clarity. In the Elisa Lam case, the official cause of Elisa Lam's death was determined to be accidental drowning. The autopsy report indicated that Elisa Lam had drowned in the Hotel Cecil water tank. According to the official document, there were no signs of physical trauma on Elisa Lam's body. There were no signs of struggle. There were no unknown substances in her system other than the medications she normally took for her mental health condition. The official conclusion of the authorities was that Elisa Lam had entered the tank on her own initiative during an episode related to her mental health and had accidentally drowned. Case closed. But there were serious problems with this official conclusion in the Elisa Lam case. Problems that many investigators and followers of the case continue to point out to this day. First, The question of Elisa Lam's clothing. When Elisa Lam's body was found in the Hotel Cecil water tank, she was unclothed. Elisa Lam's clothing items, including the red coat she was wearing in the elevator video, were found floating in the water beside her body. How does this detail fit into the official narrative of an accident? If Elisa Lam was experiencing a mental health episode and simply entered the tank, why had she undressed first? The official explanation suggests that Elisa Lam undressed before entering the water, possibly as part of her altered mental state. But this explanation raises questions in the Elisa Lam case. Second, the question of the tank lid in the Elisa Lam case. The authorities confirmed that the tank lid was closed when Elisa Lam's body was discovered. Santiago Lopez, the maintenance worker who made the discovery, had to open the lid to look inside. If the lid was closed, how had Elisa Lam closed it after entering the tank? She was inside the tank. She was in the water. It was physically very difficult, if not impossible, for Elisa Lam to close a heavy lid over her own head from inside the water tank. Some investigators of the Elisa Lam case suggested that perhaps the lid was not completely closed. Perhaps it was only partially placed and appeared closed when viewed from outside. But this still does not satisfactorily explain how Elisa Lam manipulated it from inside the water. Third, the question of the alarm in the Elisa Lam case. The emergency door that gave access to the Hotel Cecil roof was equipped with an alarm system that should sound whenever someone opened it. However, no alarm was reported by Hotel Cecil staff on the night Elisa Lam disappeared. This means one of two possibilities. Either the alarm was not working properly, which would be a serious security failure on the part of the Hotel Cecil, or Elisa Lam did not use that door to reach the roof. But if she did not use that door, how did Elisa Lam reach the Hotel Cecil roof? There were other possible accesses, but all presented even greater difficulties. Fourth, the questions about the Elisa Lam elevator video. The video released by the police clearly shows Elisa Lam in a state of extreme agitation in the Hotel Cecil elevator. She appears to be hiding from someone. She appears to be frightened. The Hotel Cecil had security cameras installed in multiple locations, not just in the elevator. There were cameras in the hallways, in the lobby, at the entrances. If Elisa Lam was experiencing an episode so severe that it led her to climb to the roof and enter a water tank, where is the other footage of Elisa Lam behaving similarly in other areas of the Hotel Cecil? Those additional recordings were never released to the public in the Elisa Lam case. Do they exist? And were they withheld? Or was Elisa Lam's behavior in the elevator something isolated and unique? Fifth, the question of the editing of the Elisa Lam elevator video. This is one of the most debated parts of the entire Elisa Lam case. Experts who analyzed the elevator video noticed something significant. The timestamp, the date and time record that normally appears in security footage, was absent from the released video. It had been removed or covered. Why? What did the authorities not want the public to know about the timeline of the Elisa Lam case? Furthermore, there is visual evidence that the Elisa Lam elevator video was edited before release. There are apparent cuts. There are parts that appear to have been removed. How long was the original elevator video? What was cut from the Elisa Lam case video? These questions remain without official answer. Over the years since Elisa Lam's death, multiple theories have emerged to explain what happened at the Hotel Cecil. I will analyze the main theories of the Elisa Lam case in detail. The first theory is the official version of the authorities. According to this explanation, Elisa Lam was suffering a severe episode related to her mental health. In that altered state of consciousness, Elisa Lam climbed to the Hotel Cecil roof, removed her clothing, entered the water tank, and accidentally drowned. This theory of the Elisa Lam case is based on the documented fact that Elisa Lam had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression. The autopsy revealed that Elisa Lam had altered the taking of some of her medications recently, which could theoretically have triggered an episode. Proponents of this theory of the Elisa Lam case point to the behavior in the elevator video as evidence that Elisa Lam was in an altered mental state. The unusual gestures, the apparent paranoia, the erratic movements in the elevator video would be consistent with a mental health crisis. But this theory of the Elisa Lam case has the significant flaws I have already analyzed. It does not adequately explain how Elisa Lam closed the tank lid. It does not explain why the alarm did not work. It does not explain the apparent edits in the elevator video. The second theory of the Elisa Lam case suggests that Elisa Lam was the victim of a crime. According to this perspective, someone at the Hotel Cecil pursued Elisa Lam, attacked her, and subsequently placed her body in the water tank to conceal what happened. This theory of the Elisa Lam case would explain several mysterious elements. It would explain why Elisa Lam appeared to be hiding in the Hotel Cecil elevator video. It would explain why the elevator doors would not close if someone were preventing them from outside the camera's range. It would explain the absence of evidence of how Elisa Lam reached the roof, because she would not have gone alone. And it would explain why the lid was closed, because it would have been closed by another person after placing Elisa Lam's body in the tank. Proponents of this theory of the Elisa Lam case point to the Hotel Cecil's history as circumstantial evidence. The Hotel Cecil was a place with a documented dark past. It was a location frequented by people in difficult situations. It was possible that Elisa Lam had crossed paths with someone dangerous during her stay at the Hotel Cecil. There were even initial suspects in the Elisa Lam case who were investigated, but all were eventually ruled out due to lack of evidence or having confirmed alibis. There are also alternative theories about the Elisa Lam case that enter more speculative territory. The Hotel Cecil has a long history of reports of unusual experiences by guests over the decades. Dozens of people reported strange sensations during their stays, unexplained visions, vivid nightmares, feelings of presence. The tragic history of the building fueled speculation about what really happens within those walls. Some investigators of the Elisa Lam case point to a coincidence that caught the attention of many people at the time of Elisa Lam's disappearance. There was a tuberculosis outbreak in the Skid Row area of Los Angeles, the area where the Hotel Cecil is located. The name of the laboratory test used to detect tuberculosis is Elisa Lam. This bizarre coincidence fueled much online discussion about the Elisa Lam case. It is probably just that, a statistical coincidence. But in a case so full of unexplained elements like the Elisa Lam case, even coincidences seem to acquire meaning. I now want to analyze the Elisa Lam elevator video in more detail. There are specific aspects of this Elisa Lam case video that deserve careful attention. First, Elisa Lam's body language in the elevator video. When Elisa Lam enters the Hotel Cecil elevator, her posture is tense. She presses multiple buttons quickly, suggesting urgency. Elisa Lam wants to leave that place. She wants to go somewhere safe. But when the elevator doors do not close, something visibly changes in Elisa Lam. She retreats to the corner. Her posture becomes defensive. Her shoulders rise. Her arms move closer to her body. This is the body language of someone who feels threatened. In the elevator video, Elisa Lam demonstrates behaviors consistent with genuine fear. Second, the way Elisa Lam peers out of the elevator in the video. Elisa Lam does not look at the Hotel Cecil hallway in a casual or unconcerned manner. She peers cautiously. She leans slowly, as if she did not want to be seen by someone. Elisa Lam looks first to one side of the hallway, then to the other, as if she were checking if the path is clear. This behavior of Elisa Lam in the elevator video is not consistent with simple confusion or disorientation. This is the behavior of someone who is actively hiding, someone who is afraid of being found by another person. Third, when Elisa Lam exits the elevator in the video, she does not simply proceed down the Hotel Cecil hallway. She moves to the side, leaving the range of the security camera. This action by Elisa Lam raises questions. If she simply wanted to leave the elevator, she would proceed down the hallway normally. But Elisa Lam does not do that in the video. She positions herself beside the elevator, out of sight, as if she were waiting for something or someone to pass, as if she were assessing whether it was safe to proceed in the Hotel Cecil. Fourth, Elisa Lam's gestures in the elevator video. This is the part of the Elisa Lam case that most confused analysts around the world. In the video, Elisa Lam is standing in front of the Hotel Cecil elevator, with her hands moving in the air in ways that seem to have no immediate sense. Some experts who analyzed the Elisa Lam case saw in these movements signs of psychomotor agitation, a symptom that can accompany certain mental health states, but other observers noted that Elisa Lam's movements in the elevator video have an almost deliberate quality. They do not seem completely random. They seemed to have some kind of purpose or intention. Sign language experts were consulted about the Elisa Lam elevator video. Some said the gestures did not correspond to any recognized sign language. Others claimed to be able to identify fragments of ASL American Sign Language. But these interpretations of the Elisa Lam case are controversial and cannot be definitively verified. There is also the possibility that Elisa Lam was communicating with someone who was outside the camera S range at the Hotel Cecil. If this is true, it means that Elisa Lam was not alone in that hallway. It means there was another person present who never appeared in the elevator video. Someone who may know more about what happened to Elisa Lam at the Hotel Cecil. At a certain moment in the elevator video, Elisa Lam appears to speak. Her lips move as if she were pronouncing words. There is no audio in the Elisa Lam case video, so it is not possible to determine what she said. Lip-reading experts tried to decipher Elisa Lam's words, but the results were if Elisa Lam was speaking, to whom was she addressing herself at the Hotel Cecil? I want to contextualize the complete history of the Hotel Cecil for a better understanding of the Elisa Lam case. This building has a chronology of tragic events that is relevant to the analysis. Since its opening in 1924, the Hotel Cecil has been associated with numerous documented incidents. In the 1930s and 40s, during and after the Great Depression, the Hotel Cecil became a refuge for people in situations of great difficulty. Many of those people met tragic ends inside the building. The first documented case of death at the Hotel Cecil occurred in It was the first of many over the following decades. The Hotel Cecil gained a somber reputation in the city of Los Angeles. In 1962, a particularly tragic incident occurred at the Hotel Cecil when a woman fell from a 9th-floor window, resulting in 2 deaths when she landed on a pedestrian passing on the street. This incident exemplifies how tragedy seemed to multiply at the Hotel Cecil. In the 1980s, as I already mentioned in the analysis of the Elisa Lam case, the Hotel Cecil housed Richard Ramirez during the period when he committed his crimes in Los Angeles. Ramirez lived at the Hotel Cecil, returning to his room regularly. The other guests at the Hotel Cecil noticed his unusual behavior, but the nature of the hotel was such that few questions were asked. The Hotel Cecil was a place where people kept their distance from one another. In the 1990s, Jack Unterweger stayed at the Hotel Cecil during a visit to Los Angeles. This pattern of attracting problematic individuals to the Hotel Cecil fueled speculation about the nature of the building. It is within this historical context that the Elisa Lam case must be analyzed. The Hotel Cecil was not a normal hotel. It was a place with a history that few other buildings can match. When Elisa Lam entered the Hotel Cecil in January 2013, she entered a building laden with decades of tragedy. The analysis of Elisa Lam's mental health state is important for a complete understanding of this case. Elisa Lam had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression. These are serious conditions that can significantly affect a person's thinking and behavior. Bipolar disorder is characterized by mood swings that can range between depressive states and states of elevated energy. During certain episodes, a person may experience alterations in the perception of reality. Elisa Lam's autopsy revealed information about her medication. There was evidence that Elisa Lam had altered the taking of some of her prescribed medications. The interruption or alteration of medication for mental health conditions can potentially trigger episodes. Proponents of the official theory of the Elisa Lam case point to this as an explanation for the behavior in the elevator video. According to this perspective, Elisa Lam was experiencing a mental health episode when she was filmed in the Hotel Cecil elevator. However, there are elements of the Elisa Lam case that this explanation does not fully address. Elisa Lam had lived with her condition for years. She was familiar with her symptoms. She had support systems, including the family who loved her and healthcare professionals who monitored her. The people who saw Elisa Lam in the days before her disappearance did not report significantly unusual behavior. She was seen shopping, exploring Los Angeles, communicating with family. This is not typically consistent with someone in acute crisis. Even accepting that Elisa Lam may have experienced a mental health episode, this does not explain all the mysterious elements of the case. It does not explain the closed tank lid. It does not explain the absence of the alarm. It does not explain the edits in the elevator video. Elisa Lam's mental health condition may be part of the story, but the Elisa Lam case involves questions that go beyond this explanation. The Hotel Cecil underwent changes after the Elisa Lam case. The global media attention on the Elisa Lam case and the mystery of the Hotel Cecil had consequences for the establishment. The hotel faced intense public scrutiny. Guests canceled reservations. The already tarnished reputation of the Hotel Cecil deteriorated further. Eventually, the Hotel Cecil temporarily closed. When it reopened, it was under a different name, in an attempt to distance itself from its history and the Elisa Lam case. But people did not forget. The Hotel Cecil building became a point of interest for curious visitors. Tourists come to see the location where the Elisa Lam case occurred. They photograph the entrance. They look at the windows. The roof where the water tanks are located became known worldwide because of the Elisa Lam case. The Hotel Cecil building was acquired by new owners who announced renovation plans. The stated intention was to transform the former Hotel Cecil into a modern establishment and eliminate the associations with its past. It remains to be seen whether a physical renovation can truly erase decades of history. The Elisa Lam case remains intrinsically linked to the Hotel Cecil. Whenever someone mentions the Hotel Cecil, the Elisa Lam case is inevitably remembered. The two have become inseparable in public consciousness. The Elisa Lam elevator video continues to be viewed and analyzed years after its release. The mystery of the Hotel Cecil, exemplified by the Elisa Lam case, maintains its power to fascinate and disturb. Elisa Lam's parents returned to Canada after the discovery of their daughter's body at the Hotel Cecil. They carry the pain of loss and the frustration of unanswered questions in the Elisa Lam case. Elisa Lam was cremated, and her remains returned to Canada, far from the Hotel Cecil where she met her end. But the memory of Elisa Lam lives on. It lives on in the millions of people who saw the elevator video. It lives on in the online discussions that continue years later about the Elisa Lam case. It lives on in the documentaries, articles, and analyses that have been produced about the mystery of the Hotel Cecil. Elisa Lam was a young woman with dreams and aspirations. She was a daughter, a sister, a student. She was a person who deserved a complete life. The Elisa Lam case reminds us of the fragility of human existence and of the mysteries that sometimes are never solved. The Elisa Lam case teaches important lessons about how we approach real mysteries. It teaches us that not all stories have satisfying conclusions, that not all cases are resolved clearly, that sometimes we are left with questions that may never have answers. The Elisa Lam case also raises questions about how authorities handle complex investigations. The apparent edits in the Elisa Lam elevator video, the lack of release of other Hotel Cecil footage, the inconsistencies in the official report, all of this fuels doubts about whether the Elisa Lam case was adequately investigated. We can accept the official conclusion of the Elisa Lam case and consider the matter closed, or we can continue to analyze the available facts, question the inconsistencies, seek a more complete understanding of what happened to Elisa Lam at the Hotel Cecil. The Elisa Lam elevator video remains as one of the most disturbing documents ever captured by a security camera. Each time it is viewed, new observers notice different details. Each analysis of the elevator video raises new questions about the Elisa Lam case, and each person who studies the case forms their own opinion about what happened that night at the Hotel Cecil. The Elisa Lam case has transformed into a cultural phenomenon that transcends a simple story of a missing person. It has become a symbol of the mysteries that the modern era still cannot explain. Despite all the surveillance technology, despite all the investigation techniques available, the Elisa Lam case remains without a resolution that satisfies all the questions raised. If this video about the Elisa Lam case interested you, subscribe to the Archive Mind for more detailed analyses of real cases and unexplained mysteries. Leave a comment with your opinion about the Elisa Lam case. Do you believe in the official explanation of Elisa Lam's death? Do you think there is more to the case than was revealed? Do you have your own theory about what happened at the Hotel Cecil? The Elisa Lam case continues to generate debate and discussion. The Elisa Lam elevator video continues to be analyzed by people around the world. And the mystery of the Hotel Cecil remains as one of the most disturbing enigmas in recent history. The Elisa Lam case deserves to be remembered. Elisa Lam deserves to be remembered not only as a victim of tragic circumstances, but as the person she was, a young woman with dreams, with a family who loved her, with a life that was interrupted in mysterious fashion at the Hotel Cecil. The Elisa Lam case is a reminder that real mysteries still exist in our world. mysteries that defy explanation, mysteries that keep us questioning, and it is through that continuous questioning that we honor the memory of those who, like Elisa Lam, deserve answers that may never come.